Everybody's got one, a 6.5 Creedmoor. Here's my 6.5 Creedmoor hunting rifle. It's a Tikka T3x tactical. The reason I got the tactical version is because I like the 10-round magazine. I don't have to carry any extra ammo. I can stick half a box of ammo in this box. It's also a metal mag with a rubber floor plate, which is really well made. It has a 20-inch barrel, and so this is specifically good for moving around in tight quarters. So that's pretty much when I use it, if I'm going whitetail hunting in a tight box stand, or if I'm sitting in one of our makeshift horse trailer blinds. So this gun moves around really well in tight locations like that. The action, anybody that's ever held a Tikka is going to tell you that this is the smoothest action ever, and they're probably right. This is buttery smooth. That's something to really like about this gun. It has a 2-position safety, which has one drawback that I can see. When it's on safe, you can't open this bolt. So that's good if you're walking through the bushes. You don't want a bush to snag and rip your bolt open. But it takes some getting used to, because after you take the magazine out, they're still around in the chamber. So you have to pretty much take it off safe, make sure it's pointing in the safe direction, open the bolt, take it out, right? And that just takes some getting used to. It has a single stage trigger. Take the magazine out. Has a single stage trigger, and it is pretty light and crisp. There's no take up. I'll pull it right now. Let's see. That was it. So it has a really good trigger in it for a factory rifle. I did not change this trigger out. I didn't adjust it. It came like this. It is on par or rival some of the Trigger Tech triggers that I've got, although it's a slight bit heavier, but it breaks that well. It's got a great trigger. Thread protector, so you can put on a brake or a suppressor. I didn't put a brake on this. It's a 6.5 Creedmoor. Although I will say that this is probably the least comfortable butt pad on any rifle that I have, pretty much. And even though this is a 6.5 Creedmoor and this gun weighs over 8 pounds without the scope and the bipod and the mount, and ammunition for that matter, this still recoils for a 6.5 Creedmoor, at least harder than any 6.5 Creedmoor I've ever shot. I've got a couple of different 6.5 Creedmoors, and this is by far handles recoil the worst. I don't know if it has anything to do with the fact that this stock is kind of plasticky feeling. I don't know. So that's a negative. But a good part about this stock is it has a really good pistol grip on it. Palm swell fills your hand really well. A really good indexing from the trigger. So it's got pretty decent ergonomics, other than the fact that, like I said, it doesn't handle recoil really well, and this stock feels kind of plasticky. This gun's barely over $1,000, so you can get it probably right around $1,000, so it's not expensive at all. It's incredibly accurate. One of the other 6.5 Creedmoors that I actually have another Tikka. I have the Tikka TAC, whatever, their precision rifle, which is really, really accurate. And it's got a chassis and everything, but this gun is almost as accurate as that rifle, and this rifle has a 20-inch barrel, kind of a regular, style stock, nothing super special. This gun's just that accurate. The scope that I have mounted to it is a SIG Tango 6. It's a 3-18 44 millimeter objective lens, and it's first focal plane 34 millimeter tube. I have it mounted in a Burris cantilever mount, and the reason that I have it in a cantilever mount is because I wanted to be able to move this from rifle to rifle, although I haven't actually ever done that, but it comes off real easy. So this rifle comes with a Picatinny rail, so the options are pretty much endless on what kind of rings or mounts. If you wanted to get this rifle for hunting, your options are limitless there for your rings and mounts. This scope actually has, I like the fact that the scope is short, gives a pretty good wide view angle, so a lot of view covered in this scope at all distances. Because it's shorter, it's not a really long scope. The shorter the scope, the wider your field of view is. And it has the reticle lights up obviously, but it also has an anti-cant kind of a light up in there. As the rifle's canted, it'll show you which side it's canted to, so you can level it out, which I think is really neat. Not necessary for shots probably inside 400 yards, 500 yards, probably not even necessary, but it does have that option. And it's MOA turrets, and each click is 0.25 MOA. So that is this rifle in a nutshell. There's a lot of debate I hear about whether or not a 6.5 Creedmoor is a good hunting round. For me personally, it's whitetail and under, and the distance that I would shoot this rifle and feel comfortable with is 400 yards or under. Now I know I shoot out of this rifle, I shoot the Hornady 143 grain ELDX. This is a really accurate and dependable load. I mean, there's not much variation from box to box in this load. It's really repeatable. And well, 143 grain projectile is plenty big enough to take any game in North America, but the velocity of 2,700 feet, which is what they got written on the box, is kind of slow, and I'm sure it's even slower out of a 20-inch barrel. So with this rifle, I kind of rein in the distance. Very predictable though, bucks the wind perfectly. I don't feel like that this is undergunned for whitetail. It's my personal opinion. I wouldn't go elk hunting with this, or moose hunting, or brown bear hunting with this, but that's just me. Not to say that it wouldn't do it. Just in case there's anybody on the planet that doesn't already own a 6.5 Creedmoor and hasn't actually seen up close what one of the rounds looks like, this is the 143 grain ELDX from Hornady, which is the round that I use. It stabilizes really well out of the 1 1/8 twist barrel, 20-inch barrel on the Tikka T3x Tactical. The box velocity, I don't know if this is going to focus. The box velocity is 2,700 feet per second. I'm sure it's not going quite that fast out of a 20-inch barrel. The BC, the G7 BC is .315. See that right there. What I normally hunt with is this. That's a 300 Remington Ultra Magnum, and that's a custom hand load from Gunworks, and the velocity chronographed out of the rifle that I'm shooting is 2998 feet per second, and the G7 is .391. That's a 225 grain ELDM round. So just for comparison, the G7 BCs are close. Actually, the 300 RUMs G7 is more, but it's also a 225 grain projectile. So In order to get a BC that high in a 30 caliber, it had to get much longer, or larger, right? So it allows you to make it longer. Otherwise, a 30 caliber round's stubbier and has less of a ballistic coefficient. So that's just a quick comparison between the two round I normally hunt with and the 6.5 Creedmoor. So if you haven't seen a comparison like this, you can tell the difference in size, etc. So if you're interested in seeing more hunting rifle gun reviews, please like and subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions or comments, you want to tell me how I'm wrong and 6.5 Creedmoor will kill elephants at 2,000 yards, you leave it in the comments, right? It probably will. I don't know. But like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you on the next gun review.